Lesson, I just want to briefly talk through a conference proposal. Now, a conference proposal is a piece of writing that is one of those active genres. It should do something. You're proposing that you should be allowed to present at a conference, and the function of the proposal is to get you accepted into the conference. So that's a little bit of the rhetorical situation. Now, what you see here, this is a final draft of a proposal that myself and two of my colleagues worked on for the 4Cs in Norfolk that was specifically on knowledge transfer. So that was pretty exciting for us because our scholarship, all three of us really think about knowledge transfer, and we have done some research on it. So in terms of purpose, our combined purposes were really in line with the focus of this conference. And so I just say that to say, when you're writing up a conference proposal, you want to be mindful of what they're asking for and what the conference is going to be focusing on. And you want to tailor your proposal to address that in some way. And usually, as you guys have seen, when you're looking at a call for proposals, it'll have many, 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 many entry points, many potential topics for you to kind of latch onto. And that's because disciplines and discourse communities can be pretty broad. But whatever you do, you want to make sure that your proposal is addressing the CFP directly in some way. So one of the things that was a key term for us was this term scaffold, because scaffolding is kind of a buzzword in pedagogical circles, but it was also one of the key terms in the conference CFP. So we made sure that we put the word scaffold in our talk title because we wanted to demonstrate how directly we're addressing it. So here, one of the things that you'll see is that there's like 2 paragraphs of overview, kind of giving a little bit of background information, several citations, and talking through like the broad strokes of the panel. And then oftentimes, if you are proposing a panel, you'll have each presenter kind of write a paragraph about what he or she is going to present. Now, if you're proposing a solo conference proposal, you'll be put into a panel on your own. So all you'll need to do, and this is probably the way that you'll want to structure it for this project, is that you'll just write this paragraph for yourself. And then what would happen would be the conference organizers would read this and read your overview paragraphs, and they would put you into a panel as an individual presenter. So one of the things I want you to notice is that the first paragraph often gives a lot of context, right? So working in the context of an urban R1 university where retention and big data are currently at the fore of administrative concerns, this is directly addressing our local context as scholars at Wayne State University. And then we want to get into the connection between our context and the framing of the conference. So we wanted to move within the first 2 to 3 sentences straight into, and here's what we're going to connect to transfer. So we're talking about metacognition, which is a component of transfer. And then here in this sentence, we have pulled out like all the guns because we're talking about collaborating in our composition program. And then we talk about, here's BAM, knowledge transfer. And then we list, like 2 decades worth of scholars who are all publishing on knowledge transfer, and all of whom are scholars that we know and cite within our robust composition program here at Wayne State University. So this sentence right here automatically situates us within the literature and sets up the main point of our proposed presentation, right? We, the presenters, describe pedagogies aimed to get students critically thinking about and reflecting on their own writing practices, supporting writing knowledge transfer within and beyond the composition course sequence. So basically we're saying, okay, we've read all this stuff and we're going to talk about what we do in our classrooms that draws on this scholarship and helps students with their knowledge transfer. And then we have an additional paragraph here about the more specific methods that we're going to use in this presentation if it is accepted. So we talk a little bit about engaging students, and then we talk about how exactly we're going to share our information with the conference attendees. So all of this is kind of giving an overview. These first two paragraphs should establish for the conference organizers, this team of scholars appropriately understands the literature adjacent to this conference, and that they have given you a picture of what their presentation is going to feel like for an attendee. And then you can get into the specifics of the content, right? So one of the things I want you to notice here is how Dr. Jenkins, Dr. Thomas, and I have situated, I'll look at mine because I can talk more probably authoritatively on it. First of all, as a presenter, and you guys are going to want to do this too in a paragraph within your conference proposal, is that you want to establish first your topic and that it is situated within the literature, probably even more so than other citations that you have up here, right? This is sort of showing, yes, I understand the large body of scholarship. And then here, Bronfenbrenner, Cooper, and Blythe, Yancey, Robertson, and Tazak, these should be the more specific studies that actually directly address what I am going to share. So Bronfenbrenner, just a little inside baseball, is talking specifically about an ecological model of development. Cooper is talking about writing ecologies, and so is Stuart Blythe. Blythe connects them directly to knowledge transfer. So within 3 citations here, we have the connection to the conference from my scholarship to the conference at large. All happening within that first sentence, right? And then a couple of additional sentences that are going to talk about my particular study and the things that I'm going to talk through within my allotted time span. And then this last sentence here describes what participants to the conference attendees or the participants of the conference are going to get from my portion of this presentation. So I'm going to have conference attendees reflect on and discuss examples of the writing ecology maps I'm going to show and try to map their own writing ecologies, etc. So you can see how within a very short amount of words, you as a writer want to demonstrate that you understand and have read within this discourse community, and that your presentation will not be boring. So it should have a little bit of your ethos as a presenter, and also it should have some really concrete actions that you are going to have as a part of your presentation, be that demonstrations or models or talking through student examples or what have you. Okay, so you guys have this conference proposal along with a couple other that I had posted a couple weeks ago. So you can read through this a little more at your own leisure. But if you have any questions this week as you're drafting up your own conference proposal, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email and we can definitely talk about it.